Frank.
Okay, you can start with the eldest.
Okay, what is your earliest memories of the family, all of you?
Earliest memories? I remember living by Grandma's house there, and I think Dad was in the Army at that time.
You
got a few pictures. This is before World War II. Yeah, and I remember when your father, your Uncle Collie, playing baseball, you know, still watching the game. Uncle Collie had a real funny run, the way he ran, you know, his legs would, and everybody was laughing. But he was a good ball player. Huh? And we had a lot of fun up there. Then we moved into the Russian Hotel.
Who moved into the Russian Hotel?
After that.
Was this after the war or before?
Oh, before.
And Rosalie, you don't remember your father at all, right?
No, I was 6 months old.
Yeah.
I remember my mother saying he was dying. Yeah. Right.
You were born in 1918?
1918. And then he said to my mother, bring the baby to me, I want to see her. Yeah. Before I go.
So he knew he was going. He knew he was dying.
Oh, yeah, my mother said the same thing. Millions of people died then.
Yeah.
Oh,
a lot of people died.
The whole world died. 3 days he was gone. 3 days.
3 days.
He got up to visit his cousin who was dying. Then he came home and then he died.
I remember Sally Carbone bringing a gallon of wine over there. Plus the waste of ground.
Oh, the big cheese? You brought big cheese?
I don't remember the cheese, but I remember the wine.
Now, how were the Carbones related? Grandma's cousins?
Grandma's cousins. She also had... Incidentally, Margie Carbone, I think, was still around.
Who was the one that was in the wheelchair forever? Catherine?
That was her sister-in-law.
Oh.
She was married to my uncle Dean.
What?
Who was she married to?
The Dean. So she was married to my husband's brother. And Rocky, her son, we were going to a wedding in New York. And on the way, they got into an automobile accident. She ended up in a wheelchair. She was such a nice lady. She was so nice.
Wasn't that the one where he hit the cow or something?
Yeah, probably that.
Well, I think Grandma was, they should call her Auntie. Because the name was Margaret, Marguerite. Setita, I can't really say her as Auntie Zadie.
That's Zadie. I hated that.
Where did that name Zadie come from?
Rosalie.
I was
the Italian version, saying Rose.
Named after my grandmother. Her name was Barbara.
Your grandmother's name was?
My grandmother Rosalie. Her name was Rosalie.
Is your name Rosaria?
Rosalie, yeah.
Well, how did Rosalie? What's that?
Well, that's the English pronunciation.
Well, his mother, she brought me to the kindergarten. I was Sarah then. I cried, so they brought me home, so I didn't go to kindergarten. So then Rosalia, then they said Rosanna, this, that, then they came up with Rosalie.
Oh, I see. So they kind of made it up.
It's close, yeah. Well, I would have couldn't translate there.
Rosalie is not a common name, but there's Rosalie, so we got a church called St. Rosalie.
Okay. You say so.
Yeah, it's not a made-up name. My aunt's for real.
It's true. They translated Rosanna to Rosa. Translation.
That's about the same.
Yeah. And Rosanna, they had Rosanna.
What are your memories about growing up and living around Milwaukee Avenue?
Well, my memories go back. I remember a blizzard there, and I was a very little guy, and playing there.
But didn't you stay?
And then my first love was there. That was that little hillbilly girl that lived across.
Yeah.
I had a crush on her for 7 years.
You know whatever happened to her?
Yeah, she grew up, became, I met her again when I was 13 or 14, and just didn't care.
You didn't care?
I didn't care for her anymore.
But you stayed with us for a while. We was outside, and there was a kid that looked like you.
This is while your father was at war?
No,
Before the war, okay.
But he was outside playing, and my mother saw a little kid. He said, "Frankie, come home. I'm going to get you if you don't come home." And it wasn't him, it was this other kid.
Yeah.
She almost gave that kid a beating.
I remember when they took Rosalie in the service, my grandma just had a picture of Mussolini on the wall. And when they took,
Grandma had a picture of Mussolini?
yeah.
This is before the war.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, Mussolini was good for Italy for a while, you know. Yeah, but she had a picture of him, but when they drafted Rosalie in the army, said Mussolini, that son of a bitch.
Grandma said that?
No, Grandma wasn't a sweet little thing.
Hey, she's tough. That's the toughest woman. I'm telling you, she is tough.
I got a story about little Grandma. This is on the art. Not
Yeah.
There's a guy down the alley. He used to walk his dog. The dog won't stop in the corner of Grandma's garage. Being a male dog, lifted his leg and did his thing, right? Grandma tells the guy not to do that. You know, let the dog do that. Well, he said something smart to her. Poor Grandma gets a little mad, but she lived back, right? This happened another time. And it happened one more time, except for one thing. Grandma went out there with a baseball bat after the guy. Not the dog, the guy. Because he was shooting off his mouth. He was a big guy. I never really seen him, but my mother told me he was a big guy. Anyway,
Grandma was tough.
the guy called cops. This crazy lady was attacking him with a baseball bat. The cops came. They arrested Grandma and him. They brought him down to the...
Dale Street?
Them days they had what, police magistrates and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Anyway, Grandma stands, Grandma,
Like 4 foot what? You know?
yeah, she's a little peanut, stands before the judge. And I guess the judge asked her what happened. She told him, the guy, don't get up my garage and he won't stop. Anyway, how it turned out, Grandma was balled out for swinging the baseball bat. But the guy got the fine. The judge fined the guy for having his dog
Peeing on the thing.
doing the property damage. But Grandma, you gotta understand your grandma and the people of that era. She was so embarrassed by being arrested. She swore to made my mother swear never to tell what happened.
She didn't want to
That's
be
why
convicted.
she didn't know. Nobody in the family knew. Grandma told me, my mother rather told me just a lot later, before she died. But that never left my life. It was really funny.
I remember we lived in we had a cinder alley, and your father, used to be a post office thing. They used to shoot craps down there. And then somebody would call the cops, I guess the cops would boy, you should see them guys grabbing the money.
I remember
It's scary.
they're all like that playing crap.
Yeah.
Even down at the bottom of the stairs.
Yeah, well, they moved from one household to the other.
I remember Uncle Collie was on the porch. I think you were there, and Rose was there, and they were all in the kitchen. I don't know if you remember this or not. But two guys come down the alley, and that was a little guy, and they were saying something, and I guess Uncle Collie didn't quite like it. He jumped off the first landing. He jumped from there down to the alley, went after the guy, pounding lumps on him. And I remember Grandma coming down the stairs with the broom.
Banging on him?
Yeah, banging on both of them. And I'm telling them to stop, not fighting, The other guy just stood there, really. And then Uncle Collie was kind of sitting on the guy, just pounding him. And I don't know what he said. I mean, he must have said something about your grandma or Aunt Helen or something. Anyway, the guy got up and they both were running down the alley. You know, a little bit of a temper there.
Was your mother your role model? Was that why you're so feisty and your daughters are so feisty?
Oh, she's a pussycat.
She's a pussycat.
I was a wimple. Now I'm feisty. Now, after 8, I'm not taking anything from anybody anymore. I'm going to give it right back.
Oh, I remember Grandma chasing, who the hell was that? This story you gotta know. Some guy brought her a bunch of vegetables.
Oh, Sullivan.
Is that
She was real friends with Richie. That was Sullivan.
Yeah.
And she used to go, she was in the bedroom. And he comes sniffing around with the vegetables. And she said, he's coming out. She took the vegetables, she threw them out of the house.
He propositioned her.
Who did?
The guy. He propositioned Grandma.
Yeah. Well, she threw them out of the house. And she threw all the vegetables
He
over the
was throwing the vegetables at the guy and everything.
I don't know what she said. I don't remember.
Then she went after him with the broom.
Yeah, it's
I'm just a little guy, right? I watched it all this.
but she must have said something to him.
No, I think he probably. The only thing that made Grandma that mad was something.
He never bothered. Then there was the Buge. Peter. He had about 11 kids. He was a plumber. He comes after me.
Really?
He wants to marry her. She's figured he's got 11 kids. She's got 5.
Yeah, right.
No way is she going to take care of him.
Besides that, she had a house.
And then she threw him out.
Did she never really went out with anybody after?
No.
I think she had enough with Grandma.
Yeah, you.
She devoted all her life.
I gotta go pick him up.
She devoted all her life.
Thanks.
She also worked in, remember that chimney that used to be on Foster and...
She worked. Didn't she work in a pottery factory?
I thought she picked him up.
She probably did that too. She worked at pottery factory, that's before my time. And also she,
It was called Wingard's Pottery.
I don't know.
Wingard, because I think
I remember the chimney though. The rest of
it was Wingard Pottery. I'm pretty sure. Because the people lived in the neighborhood. I remember when I grew up on Foster Avenue. I knew the family, and she worked for them. She what do you guys remember? My biggest memory of her is like on Christmas and New Year and Easter when she would make the ravioli up in her place.
Hey, guess who was there working on that stuff?
We all were.
And we were all with the fork and the bread.
You know that what you guys used to do? Little big brother? They used to con me. Oh, you got small fingers, you can make it real good. So a big shot.
She used to make me grind the cheese. You know, the cheese grater never failed. Had more blood in that cheese.
Gave it the flavor, right?
But the favorite words back there were non-geometric. Damn Americans.
Why did she damn the Americans?
I was making ravioli, the hair's hanging. She wrote them non-geometric.
Why would she say? Why did she say?
Her and Grandma Joker, you know, they helped each other.
Grandma who?
Grandma Joker.
That's before you just got
Norma's mother.
You remember?
Grandma had 5 kids, and Grandma Joker had 2, and they'd help each other. One would babysit for,
Wasn't
the other one went to work and stuff like that.
wasn't Norma French though?
Huh?
Wasn't she French?
No.
Well,
Her name was Frenchie.
Oh.
her name's Frank. Yeah, Frank.
Oh.
But it's Italian, man. They're from northern Italy. Their cooking was quite different from Grandma.
Well, the language too, like
Yeah, the language is a little.
what to do for handkerchief. She would say such the rest.
Well, I imagine that they could figure out right away.
Well, the northern language is more classical, you might say. And then people's language and the city's language.
And also, Grandma will not lease an apartment there in that building. She would not lease an apartment in that building.
to Italians. She didn't want no Italians living there.
Why was that?
I don't know. She just had a.
Well, she knew him.
Knew him too well.
None of the tenants were Italian.
Oh, they're all German, weren't they?
German and
Hitler and Schneider and
well, hillbilly too. I was in love with little
They were from
Christina.
the Volga River, Russian. Germans that lived in the Volga.
I remember Uncle Mike Tally had they bought this old Chevy, a rumble seat, you know. I had a little love to ride in that rumble seat. I thought that's the greatest thing.
I don't even remember that. That got me before my
The
time.
lovers would go back there.
Well, I didn't have a boy lovers.
The story I always heard was that Collie would come in at all hours of the night or the next day. He always had a story to tell. You know, he was a good time Charlie.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if I should say this, but there were two women. They were sick, divorced, or they didn't have husbands. They just crossed the alley.
I remember.
Mike and Cal used to go down there 2 or 3 in the morning.
Go
One
for-
night Mike calls up.
They were there to play cards, right?
Yeah, yeah.
He calls up and he says, "No, Mom, we won't be home until later."
Which one?
And the voice was so, I knew they were down there. You know.
You could hear it.
Yeah, I heard it, yeah. And, I said, "Mom, they won't be home till."
You guys never told on him though, right?
No, you don't tell on that.
I was friends with the woman. We went to Carl Gore's some party or something.
I can't think of her name.
Edith.
You never tell on your brother or anything.
Oh,
Was it Edith?
What
That's the one I'm thinking about. There.
there was another one.
Lived
Yeah.
lived on the first floor.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But,
She had a little girl.
yeah. There were 2 of them. Patty and Edith. I got her picture.
Well, she used to like to sit on Uncle Collins' lap. I was there one time. And she was sitting on Uncle Collins' lap at the Ellis. Saw that, right? Well, there was a battle over that.
What do you mean?
Auntie Helen. They were single yet, though.
She was waiting out on the stairs for Howard.
Well, no, I don't remember what house it was in, but Uncle Collie was sitting there, and she came and sat on his lap, and then she was there for a while. Uncle Collie smiling, you know, and then Auntie Helen came in. They were single.
There was that big fight. Yeah, I remember.
You remember now? And they had a big fight over that.
What about
She threw a ring back at him. And everything.
the passion of the Italians? What about Rosie? How old was she when she got the tuberculosis?
16.
She was 16.
She worked in this fruit store at 16. Maybe it was a little later. She worked in a fruit store, and this guy always kept the doors open in the winter or whatever. And I think she got a good cold, but I don't know where she got the TB because that's so contagious. When she got the tuberculosis.
What was her personality like?
She's a wonderful woman. I loved her really, really a lot.
And I was her favorite.
She was.
I said, really, I got a scar on my lung from tuberculosis.
Do you?
Yeah. It's been there since Aunt Rosa.
You never went to, I had a
Maybe from you. I didn't even know you had tuberculosis.
Well, I didn't even know if I had it either because they sent me home.
Well,
I was with Rosie and they were so concerned that I was going to get tuberculosis. I was 11 years old. And she's hemorrhaging and all that. So when she went to the sanitarium, the doctor said, "Well, you're kind of poor. Let her go too, so you don't have to worry about me." So they put me in the cottage and I froze my butt because in winter.
They wanted fresh air.
No,
right?
they believe in cold, fresh air.
No window, just the tarp.
Yeah.
And I got all rheumatism and all. So they brought me to the infirmary with a lot of tuberculosis people. They took me away from her, put me in the infirmary with all these kids that had TB. So one day, after 2 years, I'm in bed, the nurse said, "What's wrong?" I said, "Oh, I want to go home. I don't want to stay here." So the next time my mother came, she said to my mother, "Take her home." And they were ready to give me some kind of a
Well, they operated on you.
clinic. No, they didn't.
You got that big
Tell a
scar.
horse story.
That was when I was 2 years old.
What? What? Tell me more about Rosie, John.
So,
Well, my memories of her are all.
These guys are fresh with it.
You know, and she was always good to me. She lived up in the second floor of the front building, I guess you'd say.
It was both front and back.
And she, you know, she's always kidding around, and she tell me dirty jokes. And they call me your father, your uncle, and Aunt Rose would call me numbnuts.
You're kidding.
No, I ain't kidding.
Nice.
And Joanne numbnuts, they call me.
You don't hold that against them, right?
No, I didn't know what the numbnuts were, you know. No, I know, yeah. Then she had a poem about Christmas, about Santa Claus, you know.
Is this before she was went into the sanitarium?
No, this is after she got out.
Okay. Did that change her at all? Did the sanitarium change her?
She was always
Same.
No, she met some guy there that she was pretty fond of, but he died.
Yeah, he died.
What about?
She was very, in her mind and everything, she would have been very, well, she was like the wild kid. The only thing that slowed her down was the tuberculosis. My mother used to prop pillows under the blankets to make, you know, to show that Aunt Rose was in there.
She wasn't.
She wasn't. She used to climb out the window and go out the guys. My mother would never do that, but Aunt Rose would.
Now, what about your mother? Your mother was kind of the responsible one in the family, right?
Yeah, she was. She helped out. Yeah.
She was the oldest. How many years between her and you? Yeah.
I was born 1918, she was born 1909 or 10.
Oh, was she?
Rose was either way.
1907, wasn't she born?
She was.
No, Mom was born in 1908.
1908.
And Aunt Rose was born in 1909. And that says they're exactly a year apart.
9 years older, Anthony was 10 years old. And when I'd walk down the street with her mother, she always had her hand here on my neck.
His
Why?
father used to do that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know what
I don't know, guys you down the street, I guess. He always had his hand on my neck.
She always had her hand on the back of my neck like that. Your father.
Never done that.
Well, she did it.
She should have a couple times.
Just to pull me by the ear sometimes.
So I wouldn't run away or keep.
I don't know, Uncle Mike always did that. I don't know why he did that. Walk out and you had to walk in the hand by the neck. Uncle Kelly would never do that. Hey, there's a lot of.
Did they all get married like at the same time?
Pretty close.
Like,
Uncle Charlie come into the picture.
It was after
At
the
that
war.
time.
who was the first to get married? Your mom, Antoinette? Huh?
Oh, my mom, yeah.
She was the first one.
Charlie came in before, during the war, after,
Yeah.
before the war.
They used to make fun of him because.
Well, when did John marry Antoinette? What year was that?
My dad?
Yeah.
1926.
26 or 27?
Oh, so that
What?
they got married at 26?
26.
Oh, they were married a long time before everybody else.
68 years when they died.
Okay,
No, not their wedding.
it's a lot.
You know, my most vivid memory of that place was when I was a little boy and I listened to my favorite radio program. I'm playing by the stove. I don't know if you remember the big old heavy cast iron cook stove Grandma had. I think it wound up in Uncle Collie's basement over on McVickers. Anyway, I was playing by the stove there, and my program was on television, and all of a sudden they announced
Radio or television?
television. Television wasn't even a thought.
Oh, you said television, so you meant radio.
Oh, I meant radio. Anyway, I'm sitting there listening to the radio, and my favorite programs come on. You know, like you can watch television, I listen to the radio. My own imagination made up the scene. Anyway, what happened, there was that pretty close to noon, I guess it was, Pearl Harbor, the day Pearl Harbor was bombed. And I remember she was in the kitchen, Aunt Rose was in the kitchen, and Grandma was around there someplace. And now, it would have meant nothing to me, really. But all of a sudden, they stepped, oh my, Aunt Rose, oh my God, she dropped her dishes. She used to, you know, do her own dishes. and put them on the side so nobody else is using. She just dropped it on the floor, and Grandma said something in Italian, and that's how. That day in my mind is so vivid.
Yeah.
I can tell you even the cracks in the floor from that day. I mean, it's just like a picture put in my mind. What actually happened.
And I remember having a date with Ernie. He wasn't involved yet.
This is before the war? Before the war.
Well, when Pearl Harbor was
Oh.
found, I said to them, "Oh, Pearl Harbor was found."
Yeah, I was at your reception.
What did he say?
What?
What did Ernie say?
Well, he knew already.
Oh.
Because
Now, Ernie, he was born in Germany, right?
Yeah.
How many years had he been over in the United States before the war started?
Well, he was a Hitler Youth.
He was?
Yeah.
he was 16 when he came.
1938 was it or something?
Why did he come?
His brother was here, and some of the family left his mother and father.
Well, he was lucky he come.
Yeah, he was only 16. So,
How did you meet him?
where I worked, Corrado.
Oh.
Yeah.
You and Collie worked there too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was supervisor.
Yeah, Callie had one job in his life. He started there as a kid, and he got when he retired, he was still there.
But Mike worked at other places.
He worked at Mansbridge.
Right, yeah.
But you know what? Mike didn't work for a long time. Collie was working. He was bringing home the
No.
Mike was
The chow bags on, you know.
We'll be there.
I was helping my mother, even with this washing machine, 2 tubs and the wringer. He'd be wringing the.
I remember that.
Who did that?
Mike.
He did go.
Uncle John did too. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
I remember that thing.
Yeah.
2 tubs
And
together.
she'd be over there washing the sheet of the sheets. You know.
Oh, they washed a lot of clothes by hand. I remember when they got that first washing machine. It was in Orange, wasn't it? Yeah, I think so.
Well, Mike always took care of my mother. He got her a diaper washing machine. He got her her refrigerator. He got her glasses. He took care of her. But he picked on me.
Why?
I don't know.
Why would he pick on you? Because you're the little one? Because you were the little one?
I know a lot of people picked on me.
Big brothers always pick on the baby.
I was going to tell a story about Aunt Rosalie. I was going to tell a story about Aunt Rosalie and Aunt Norma going to the beach and taking this cute little boy with them, which was me.
He took us to the beach.
Cool.
I didn't take you. You took me. I was only 14.
I saw those pictures this morning.
Well, you took me. I was only a kid. Frankie was. I was 14.
14,
Frankie was a little guy, he was about 7. Yeah, you.
I remember her and Norma at the beach.
And they were just using you guys for cover, right?
Yeah, this is, I don't remember John, but I remember being with Aunt Rosalie and Aunt Norma at the beach, looking to pick up guys. I knew they were doing it.
Well, I wasn't with that bar.
And she used to take me ice skating in Jefferson Park, too. And these guys come skating over there, and they want to give this little boy a ride that's hers, you know, and stuff like that. That was a pretty good scheme.
I went once.
The truth comes out, man. Sorry.
Just once.
I got nothing to hide.
I used her skates. And in order to fit, I had to put my bunny slippers on. And they fit. You know, they don't skate. They put me out of there. I froze my buns off. This is the last time. I never went ice skating or
He ended up moving to
skiing
Arkansas.
or go sledding, but never again on that ice.
God, I was older than
You did, huh?
I was 11 when you were born.
Well, I looked older than
Mother,
mother.
in the toothache.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to take a break.
Okay.
All right, let's go get something. You guys go get something to eat here.
I should go eat.
And then you think about some more here, right? That was pretty good stuff.
Well, I don't know if I want this little story. Our dog Nellie was sick, so my mother called the police. So all these little kids are around the dog. He's laying there all sick in the alley. The cop comes out, takes the gun, it shoots the dog. And wow, that would be horrible.
Yeah, they couldn't do that, huh?
He shot the dog, and all of us little kids.
That wasn't the dog that had his head caught in the rings in the fence.
No, I don't know. Nellie and
I remember that dog being shot.
he was sick, and my mother called.